Hello, friends and listeners, party people. Welcome back to another episode of Party XP. I'm your host, Lakan, and joining me is Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you doing, my friend?
Hot,
Yeah.
humid, sweaty.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That was me last week. Our upstairs AC died in the house, and the house, the up second floor was a solid 84 degrees all the time. That was great. That was fun trying to deal with that heat. Luckily, I shaved my head. I'm bald again, so I just did the old towel trick, wet towel.
Yeah.
Throw it in the fridge, right? And just lay there, just underneath the fan. I was making do for 4 days straight, basically. So, that was a fun birthday weekend.
Yeah, fun for you, right? What a gift.
Yeah. But luckily everything's fixed now, so I'm okay again. That was a rough couple of days for me.
Yeah.
Completely
understood.
It's been gross and hot, but honestly, it hasn't been as muggy as I thought it was gonna be. It's actually the weather's actually kind of nice today. But summer's here, so might as well enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Learn to live with it. We know what we get here in Jersey, so. So for this episode, we are back to the roguelike XP experience, baby.
Great. Here we go. Roguelike XP. I'm excited.
So this one's I'm playing a little bit loose with the definition of roguelike here. I'll explain later, okay? Have you ever heard of the game called Empty Shell?
No. Not until we talked about it.
Cool. So this is a game that showed up on my radar a couple years ago, and I finally pulled the trigger on it a little while ago. And I really happen to enjoy this one. So I'm gonna toss this one your way, and we'll see how you feel about it. Empty Shell is a top-down twin-stick survival horror roguelite released on October 16, 2023. Developed by CC Arts, a one-man studio, just Claudio Catalano, based in Milan, Italy, and published by Hyperstrange. You're dropped onto an abandoned island off the coast of Japan in 1976 on a recovery mission. At the beginning of your run, you're given a random loadout and levels are randomly generated. Here's where things change a little bit in terms of why I'm going to explain why I feel like the term roguelite is more like roguelite elements are, I guess, kind of involved in this game. Runs average around 4 hours.
Okay.
But your progress does stay within a file. You'll have a save file system in this game. So it's a long run roguelite, kind of in the same vein as Returnal. I don't know if you heard about that one. That was on the PS5.
Okay.
That was the Sony original game, I believe it was, on the PS5. And again, I'm focusing on here a little bit again on the term roguelite. So it is a linear game. There's a win condition again, an end of the run, right? The roguelite element comes in when you die, obviously, but you, instead of restarting the game completely from the beginning, you restart the current section you're in with a completely new unit or character. Again, not from the beginning.
Okay. Not bad.
I've kind of experienced this a little bit with kind of Returnal did it, and then a couple more games I think are starting to try stuff out or kind of considering this slightly different format to the roguelite, to how long a run is. And heads up, there's a little bit of extra stuff that's a little bit unclear towards the end of this game. I highly encourage playing with a controller for that reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I can explain it to you now, off air, or not at all if you'd like.
No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me anything.
Okay, cool. And if you ever do want to know, ask me, or I do recommend looking online a little bit.
Okay.
It is a little confusing right towards the end, but again, I highly recommend playing with a controller so you don't have to run into it, okay?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. Any questions?
No, it's exciting to be able to play games again. Having that time to be able to play some games again. So I'm excited to dig in here.
Word. Awesome. Okay. Listeners, there'll be a short break here. For us, it'll be about a week or two. For you guys, it'll be about 5-10 seconds. And when we're back, we'll see how Jeff feels about Empty Shell.
See ya.
Okay, everybody, it's been a lot of time.
It's been a while. It's been a little while.
It has actually been a while. This has been a hell of a 2 months, bro.
You're telling me.
I was there.
I know you were
there.
there. You were there for the biggest part of it. So thank you again for that.
Yeah, of course, no problem at all. But yeah, you finally got to sit down and actually play something.
Yeah.
So Jeff, what do you think of Empty Shell?
Dude, all right. So I'll tell you the story of how everything started. So the first time I sat down and I started playing this game, I was like, oh, it's really cool. It's really cool. I have no idea where the hell I'm going, but it's really cool. And so I was like really nervous about this, but then I went back for a second playthrough or like a second session, and I ended up like finding my way through everything, and I cleared a full run my first time like going through this. Granted, I played the game on easy because I just wanted to see the end of the game, but like,
oh, good, that's fair.
Yeah, so like I completed the whole run, and it was a really cool experience. It's a really cool game, and I think people would really enjoy it. It's a nice take on that whole roguelike genre that I think kind of plays really well to especially people like us who are super busy, and you have just so much going on in your life. You can't really dedicate a full slate of time for a 4-hour session. You need to break it up sometimes. And Empty Shell did a really good job of that for me. And the best part was, like, I wasn't completely lost coming back to the game after a few days. So I dig it. Like, I thought it was a lot of fun. I like the sort of the progression system. I like the way the game played. I like how, like, how the gunplay worked and all of that. I liked how you were kind of able to build a character the way you wanted to build them, as far as what weapons you used, what power-ups you got, what like tools you had. All in all, I thought it was a really fun experience. So I'm happy I got that the opportunity to play that game.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear. Again, it's been like 2 months now, I feel like. So it's like, I'm trying to remember what the hell I talked about the first half. But I'm pretty sure I referenced like Returnal, right? That PS5 game that came out relatively early on, where that also has like roguelite elements in it, right? Where it's like it's a long roguelike run game, right? Where there are save points, but it is a little bit longer, right? It's like we're talking like a session or a run is about 6 hours ish, right? 4 to 6 on average. Where Returnal, same thing, has like a long story. You die, you start over again, and then you basically try it again, right? Same thing. You get the same thing here. The way that the roguelite mechanics work is that when you die, you end up with a new quote unquote volunteer. And you can find your old body and reloot some of your old stuff, basically. But you do technically start off with a new randomized loadout with certain weapons, possibly a healing item or some armor, and then you go again. And then the area is randomized as well. So that's where the roguelike elements are in this game, where it keeps the game fresh enough where it's not always like the same path every time. I was thinking about when I was playing it again, it reminds me a little bit of how Left 4 Dead does theirs, where it's like, okay, yeah, point A to point B is the same, but there may be some small changes, right? Like specifically in Left 4 Dead 2, where what was the thing called again? We definitely talked about it during the Left 4 Dead episode. The AI that changes the map around. Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying.
It's like that where, like, if you're doing well, it makes it a little bit harder for you. And then in the opposite way, obviously you're reversing it, right? It changes up monster spawns. It changes up what kind of monsters you do see. Like there's usually like 1 or 2 special monsters, right? What's the first one you see? What's the first one you saw, actually?
It was the hand.
First weird monster. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that I'm pretty sure that's standardized across the board, and it's cool because you find that piece of. Did you find the little note?
The little lore bits. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. So the first little. So I guess this must be, like scripted in, but like, so you go in there. You don't really know a whole lot, right? Obviously, it gives you a little bit of like a small expo dump at the beginning. You're on this again, secluded like island off the coast of Japan. Where they're doing experiments, and you're going to explore and recon the area that a bunch of special, like a special unit has already been there before, and then they have lost contact. And then you can kind of pick up more and more story-wise is that they stopped sending in specialized units and specialized people for this. They start shipping in criminals. Or people who are like looking for a job or work, kind of Squid Games-esque kind of thing here. People who are desperate for something to do with the promise of
money. Yeah, like
return. Yes, some sort of return. Yeah, exactly. Some sort of income for doing so. It's a cool, dark, simple story, right? And then you can see a lot of the story and the lore is told within the game, kind of like how Doom does it, right? Whereas a lot of it is just like you explore. Sometimes you find a little note or an audio recording or something. Yeah. And that kind of gives you more and more of what this whole world is kind of building up towards, basically. Yeah, the first weird thing is the hand, and I don't know about you, when I was playing it, I like opened the door and it just came out of nowhere.
Yep, that's exactly how it was
And
for me.
I just had that first like, oh, I just like started. It's been like 40 seconds, and I had to start like a panic fight basically.
Like, shit.
Did you die right off the bat? You killed it.
I think the first hand that I ever fought killed me, but on my run, obviously, yeah, like I was able to kill it. The other thing too is like, at first it's difficult to find out the game's beats and be like, when is this big fight going to come? And then once you kind of play it a little more, you can kind of tell. You can look at the ambiance around you. You kind of look at the map, and you're like, all right, I need to be ready for something, because something's about to come and try to kill me. I kind of like, after a while, you kind of get into the feeling that like, oh, all right, so you get more prepared for incoming fights. I mean, it doesn't necessarily prepare you for everything, but it does kind of prepare you for, you kind of get a good idea of it, right?
Yeah, it feels very Doom-like in that sense.
It does,
right? Where like, you in Doom 2016 and in Doom Eternal, you kind of like realize, oh, I'm in a bit of an arena,
yep.
Right? I should expect a fight coming up relatively soon, or like I see health pickups. I'm like, okay, something's coming. It's usually like once, especially because your map expands the more and more you explore, right? You start seeing like long hallways, bigger rooms. You're like, okay, I should be prepping for something on the other side of this wall, type of deal. And yeah, again, you kind of like figure out and kind of like understand like what the rhythm of the game, basically.
Exactly.
Right. It's like there's an intense spot, then a little bit of cooldown, kind of recollect yourself a little bit. Hopefully scavenge for some gear, right? Looking for stuff in lockers and boxes is real fun until you realize that you're not in an actual menu, and like enemies can still attack you.
yeah, it happened to me a couple of times.
So the first time I played this, like a serious run, like my first real good run of this game, I did a couple times. But again, when you die in this game, you don't start over from the complete beginning. You start from the section you were currently in. It's like 5 to 6 sections, I believe, per run. It's funny because I remember I was playing in Discord, but I was just kind of streaming to a friend of mine, and he had like dozed off at one point and kind of came back to it. He's like, "Oh, you're in a very different area." I was like, "Yes," and I'm very tense right now because I feel like I'm getting close to the end of this game. And he like watched me like looting for like armor and health items, and he just saw like things on the periphery of the screen, basically like walking towards me. And he goes, "Oh, you're not safe." I'm like, "Yes, I know. I've been dealing with this for the last 3 hours. I've just been on edge basically the entire time." But yeah, so like I do appreciate that, like in this game where like the mood of the game, the ambiance of the game, it feels like you're supposed to be on edge, right? For the entire game, basically. The only real safety you get is when you're in like the shop menus.
Yeah, and like the first room of the game, like the very first room. That's it.
Yes, and the shop menus feel again. Like, there's a lot of things that remind me of other games in this game. It's just that like this happens to be in a top-down perspective. Those little shop menus remind me of like Dead Space a little bit. Have you played Dead Space or not?
No.
Okay, so Dead Space is obviously another horror game where everything just feels like it's out to kill you the whole time.
Of course.
But like though you have these little upgrade shops which are safe areas basically for Isaac in that game, and that's like the only time you feel safe because it brings you to a different menu. Nothing's going to be attacking you during that time. Same thing happens here when you get to a shop menu in empty shell. And there are certain times when like I'd be in the middle of like prepping for a fight or getting ready for something, or I'm reeling from something, and I'll just go in there and just basically cheese a little bit. It's like, okay, let me reset real quick, hopefully buy something, and then move onwards kind of thing.
I love how in like the cold, the dark, tense like game, and then you stumble upon this shop and it's just like do 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 do. It's like this very cheerful jingle when you activate the shop, and I'm like, oh, I needed that, thank you.
it's funny because like that little jingle reminds me of like the jingles that play when you. I've never been to Japan, but I have friends who have been there, and obviously it's referenced a lot in like the Yakuza games, where like Don Quixote has like a jingle, the Mini Mart has a jingle, you know what I mean? Like all these little things have like a jingle that goes on with them. Yeah, and it also reminds me of the merchant from Crypt of the Necrodancer. Where it's like, you know, you hear him singing along.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm safe. I'm a little bit safe when I'm near this guy then, basically.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, so like, how long was your first, your completed run?
Oh,
do you have a,
God.
do you recall how long it took?
I could probably find it. Give me a second.
Yeah,
but...
go for it. Yeah, my first run was around 8 hours. I was playing on hard, I believe. Yeah. So 8 hours, a bunch of deaths. I think towards like this, towards the end of the game, because obviously the game ramps up a little bit. The first like 3 or 4 sections was me. You know, I kind of figured out after the first or second section, and then mostly like trying to figure out how to maximize my run. Relatively simple game for the most part, right? So it's like I was already trying to figure out how to min-max my runs and save big healing items for later down the line, and like, you know, especially because you could mark your map, which is a nice touch in this game.
Oh my God, that was like a godsend. Brilliant game development decision to allow you to write on the map of a roguelike. I mean, it's just it was brilliant, because there were times where I would get so lost, and it would be a god. Like I said, it would be a godsend.
Especially like, you know, the middle later part of the games where, especially when you're kind of comfortable, you've kind of figured things out for the most part, right? And you're like not losing as much health in encounters. Yeah, like I'll find like the big health kit, like saving that. You know what I mean? I'm marking that crate on the map somewhere.
Exactly. And I mark what's in the crate, so I know if I need to go back. Like if this is medium ammo, if this is, I would call it. And by the way, I would call it about 4 hours total.
Okay, that's actually not too bad then. Because so that means even then the on easy, it's still a relatively long run and still got a little bit of challenge.
I'm also kind of ass at these games, so that might be why.
Like the top-down shooter style?
Just roguelikes and anything that's not fighting games or Madden franchise mode.
Gotcha. I don't recall if I told you about this in the first half of the recording or if I told you off recording. Did you play with the mouse and keyboard or controller?
I played with the mouse and keyboard the whole time. I remembered you were like, hey, play with a controller for this one part. And I was like, I wonder what part that's going to be. And then I just kept playing with mouse and keyboard.
Ah, okay. Did you find the part that I was
No, I don't actually know
you didn't.
what you needed me to play on controller with.
Okay, cool.
What was it?
So there's a computer sequence towards the end of the game, towards like in the last section, and I think in the like second to last section as well, where you have to like type in console commands into a computer.
Yes.
Okay, so the only reason why I was doing that was because if you don't know how to, this is gonna date us a little bit. I mean, we've already done it,
right?
But like back in the day, we're talking like, you know, old PC, right? We're like, well, technically we even had the benefit of being already on Windows, technically, right? On old PCs, if you're a Linux user, this is probably nothing to you guys, but it's basically your everything is done through like a command, like a console command.
Yeah, like command prompt.
You have to like go
DOS
through,
and
command
all
prompts.
that.
Go through directories to different control settings in this game. So basically, in this game, in the end, you have to activate shields and like generators at some point, basically, right? For one section earlier on, and then one at the end to finish the run. And it kind of just throws you in there without any real warning. So if you're not used to dealing with just a text-only interface, it may take a while. Like I definitely saw a lot of people complaining about that on like the forums, like the Steam comments, the Steam community of this game. And then specifically the end was a little confusing because you need to know what, like unless you didn't pick up the logs, basically it's like you don't know what you're supposed to be powering on.
Correct.
And how to get to them to power them.
I totally Googled it. Like I just Googled all the command prompt sections. I Googled because I'm like, I know how to do this, but I don't want to do this.
Okay,
so I just
fair enough.
I just said fuck it. I'm just gonna see what I have to do. Like I know how to transverse my way through DOS and command prompts and all that, but man, I'm not trying to start up like an old MS-DOS game. I'm trying to finish this fucking roguelike for my show. All right?
Yeah. So the first one is pretty easy because it's literally just like what is it? Like a directory system reset system.
Yeah.
Very
Yep,
simple,
yep.
right? The one to end the game is you have to get access to all 3 of the generators, I believe, to overload the system basically. And if you didn't pick up the notes for it, you don't know what you're doing.
Right, exactly. And honestly, if you did pick up the notes, you probably don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's still a little bit rough to do at the end. The first one I was able to handle on my own. The second one I did have to like look in like comments on like Steam community, just to like get me going the right direction, make sure I'm not doing this wrong kind of thing. So apparently on controller you don't have to deal with that at all.
No fucking
That's
way.
why I recommended it. Yeah, because like what they're gonna make you type with an on-screen keyboard.
Could you imagine?
Because obviously you have to deal with forward slashes because you're basically again you're commanding every time. That's like the one hang up it seemed like a lot of people had with this game, where it drags the game to a screeching halt if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But other than that, I think the game moves at a relatively decent pace. There's like 3 boss battles in this game?
3, yeah, I would say that 2 or 3. I can only remember 2, but I'm pretty sure there is a third one.
I think the first boss battle was just 2 of those like
big enemies. Yeah,
exactly. It's just the first real like challenge, and then you get like what is it at the end of section 3 or 4 near the water or near a bridge.
Yep.
You fight like a eyeball kraken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I just sat on the minigun and just shot at it. I was like, I'm not like I was trying to play it, quote unquote properly, right, by like dodging and all this other stuff, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and just eat the damage. I just found all the health and shield upgrades that I could.
Yeah.
And I just laid into it with the minigun.
I did the same thing as you so at first I was trying to like dodge and weave and move, and then I noticed that I could interact with those, and I was like, oh wait, this is a turret. Oh, fuck that.
Yes.
And I just blasted the thing and just killed it. I was on easy. So, like, I just sat there and took all the damage because I was like a fucking juggernaut at that point. I had so many armor and health upgrades that I was just, like, sat there and just let it blast me while I blasted it.
In your inventory, that does pause the game. That, I guess technically that is, like, the one bit as well, too, right? Where you actually go into your inventory and manage, like, using medkits, using armor pieces, or armor scraps, right?
Yeah. Can we get these guys bigger bags next time? That's all I ask.
Right. So, I mean, that's also part of the game.
I know
right?
it is.
So another part of this game is like your inventory management. Your character can only carry 8 slots of equipment early on, and then you can find 2 like leg holsters, I think they called it.
Yeah, leg pockets or something.
Yeah, so that you can expand 2 more slots into your available inventory. So I ran with like basically whatever had the most ammo on, I would keep that through sections for the most part, because all weapons did a pretty decent amount of damage, but certain ones were just like more efficient. Like the Uzi I would get rid of because it just ate through ammo. The pistol's surprisingly good in this game, like the starting pistol. Shotguns are always useful. I feel like in any horror game, right? It's like I'm now a little bit like I'm not as scared anymore at that point. And then the fun ones in this game are like the energy weapons, where they have like modifiers to them. One stronger weapon, like a medium or heavy, a light weapon, because you can usually find light ammo relatively easy in this game, and then a melee weapon. I feel like a melee weapon is like
mandatory,
just mandatory in this game, especially because obviously you're resource managing. You don't want to expend like all of your ammo. All pretty good, and all of them do have different damage numbers on them. Unfortunately, like I didn't play enough to know exactly what was stronger or not between the certain ones, like the axe versus the crowbar. But did you find the katana?
No.
Okay, so the katana's a bit hidden in this game.
Yeah, for good reason.
Because you can break certain walls in this game. I don't know if you know about that. Okay, so it's kind of like Binding of Isaac in that sense, or like the old Legend of Zelda games. You know what I mean? We have like a hidden wall. Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, where you can kind of knock on walls and see if something kind of opens up, kind of thing. So I found the katana, and luckily at that point I was already running like a melee build because I had a fire axe. So I was doing it's like melee damage plus basically at one point for my upgrades, and the katana's base damage was so high that I was one hitting like the medium monsters, like the medium zombies. So I was like, so I was just walking around in my like weeb cosplay, just like taste Japanese steel.
You were fucking Ichigo Kurosaki, just running around.
Exactly. Just bankaiing and shit,
everybody.
But yeah, like, and honestly, like, because how strong like every time I got to like one of the upgrade nodes, if I just saw melee plus, I was immediately grabbing it. That was basically it for me. From that point, once I found the katana was doing as much damage as like a shotgun, basically, at one point for me.
So I had the same kind of build. So I always found heavy ammo, and I found the hunting rifle early. So I did, every time I saw range damage, I would hit the ranged damage plus, right? So I was doing tons of damage from afar, just sniping enemies. And then I found the military sniper rifle on like the second to last mission of the game, and that shit was just like demolishing people. So it got to a point for both of us, I guess, where we kind of you get to that point, right, where you snowball and you're kind of just destroying everything in front of you because you've gotten so many upgrades of a certain kind. And I was in that spot, and I was happy to have that. I used a lot of heavy ammo weapons and light. I don't know how I like made that determination. I just like the way they felt. I did notice in my like Googling to solve problems, like people were like, "Oh, the shotguns are all ass, so don't use them." So I was like, "Well, time to get rid of the shotgun." And then I ended up using the heavy weapons instead of those, and it turned out to be pretty good. And then, like I said, the light weapons, I don't remember the name of the light weapon that I had. It was like the SG something, and that thing was,
the SMG, like
something like that.
Not the not Uzi.
Yeah,
the slower rate of fire.
Yeah,
SMG is
I like
good.
that thing.
Yeah.
So, and then I ended up getting a heavy ammo assault rifle too. So I just had I had the light ammo one, and then I had a revolver, I had a sniper rifle, and I had this assault rifle. And I'm like, yo,
that's a good setup. Like that honestly can carry you through basically the rest of the game from that point on.
And it did a really good job.
For me was I think it was a medium ammo. It was another rifle, but it was like a repeater. Because I think it's a hunting rifle. I think you and me are on the same one for that one. And then there's a sniper rifle later down the line, which is like one shot per reload, basically. That one carried me through a good chunk of my playthrough, because it does do like considerable damage, like early to mid game. And then late game, if you want to switch out from that point on, you're better off. You can get like I think they labeled it an American style rifle, which just means the AR.
Yep.
so that was like my end game. I switched out my hunting rifle for that one, and then that's cool. Now this can use my medium ammo, and I'm good to go. But yeah, I was surprised that like the shotguns were basically useless.
Yeah.
Like towards like stage 4, stage 5.
Yeah.
Even though I had held onto it for so long, because I went in relatively blind for the most part.
I did too, but it ended up getting to the point where I just couldn't figure shit out, and then I was like, well, I just noticed this, and it was unavoidable. It was like one of the topics, the names of the topics in the Steam community was like shotguns suck or something like that, and I was like, well, I'll take a look, and then sure enough.
So you just saw it when you were like looking for stuff, basically. Got it. I get it. But it's cool though, because like the fact that there is so little info to go on in this game, that like the community, like especially in games like this where like it is meant to be relatively scarce in terms of information, the community will come together and immediately start sharing information. Like I think it just it goes to create like a stronger community around the game because of it. You know what I mean?
I saw Freddy Fazbear like materialize when you said that statement. There's no information, so the community comes together to fill in the holes, and I just saw Freddy Fazbear looking back at me. I was like, yeah, motherfucker, we're talking about you, kinda.
Yeah, absolutely. For like a first attempt of a game, I think this was very much so really interesting. I mentioned it before as well, I think in the first half, that there is a second game coming.
Yeah, you did.
And it looks like it's at least again from like what the developer's been talking about and what they've kind of like been willing to share, is that they have taken a lot of the criticisms to heart and been kind of trying to streamline some of those things out while still making the game a little bit more difficult, still without getting rid of the soul of the game, obviously. But I think like at its core, like this is very much like as a first project, very, very good.
I thought so too.
And I think like again, like for the most part, like I think a little bit of refinement I think would go a very, very long way in this game. But even then, at its core, like the pieces are definitely there for like a nice, fun like horror roguelike game.
I agree. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I just wish so the game is shot kind of like how Katana Zero is, where it's shot from like a like you're watching on security cams.
Yes.
And unfortunately for me, like I had to turn off all those effects because I couldn't see what the hell I was doing. Like I just couldn't see anything.
As did I. I had to do it around like stage 3 when things started really, really ramping up. I was like, I need to actually see what the hell's on screen.
Right. And I felt kind of bad because it's like, well, I'm taking myself out of the immersion just to play this game. But that's one of like the coolest parts of it was to have that immersion. And I felt like I said, I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, like I have to see what I'm doing, right? So like I needed to take that off. But like I said, and like you said, it's a really great first attempt. Like if this is the first game, like this is really good for a first game, let alone a sequel that'll be also really strong too. I'd be up for playing the second one. I would be up for playing the second one.
I was curious about in regards to like the lore of this game. Were you able to do like a lot of the smaller side missions in this game?
Side missions meaning what?
So they're basically what the achievements are. So it's like I don't know if you looked at the achievements. There's 81 in this game.
That's a lot of achievements, but
yeah.
I did a few of the things. So like there's a few situations where you find like data disks right in the course of your game, and you have to bring them to the end of the level to get credit for them. So I did a few of those. I did what was it, like the old radio or something? I did one of them.
Yes.
And then I did I tried to do something else and I just couldn't swing it. I was just like, forget it. Like I didn't have enough space in my inventory for it. So I just said, forget it. Like I gotta drop you. But
I get it. Okay.
I did try to do as much of those as I could because I thought it was kind of like, it was cool to kind of like do all that. I didn't really get the benefits of it, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. The nice thing about like the achievements in this game or like the side missions, it's all just lore basically. Yep. So it's nothing mandatory to finish a run. There's no like, oh, this is like it's like, okay, it's 100%ing for yourself at that point. You're not really doing it for like 100% of what a run is supposed to be. There is one where it's like you find the two lovers, right? You find the ring.
Yes, I did find the ring.
The couple.
I did find the wedding ring.
So yeah, there's that one. There's literally one of the achievements is literally just buy the rocket launcher, just have enough money to do so.
Oh, so damn! I should have bought the rocket
simple
launcher.
Stuff like that.
I had enough money for it, and I didn't buy it.
And of course, like one of the objectives or the achievements as well is just go through go through this area. So it's like because you get the two choices. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's two choices, two sections where you get to choose where you want to go. Right. It's just like once you pick one, you go through the other one. And then if you go through the caves, you don't go through the other area. It's just incentivizing you to do another run, basically. So again, like nothing really required for you to actually clear a run here. It's more just like, this is for your new game plus. This is for your, trying out new stuff, and they want to just get you to explore and experience the rest of the game. That's basically all the achievements are, which I think is like a good way to balance out incentivizing a player to play again without them feeling like, oh, I missed something. Well, this is a wasted run. A little bit of like how, again, like when we used to play like Left 4 Dead, right? Doing like the what is it, Mustachio, like this little shooting range in the carnival area, right. Or carrying the gnome with you the entire time. You don't have to do it. Again, it's an achievement. It gives you a little bit of a challenge, and it gives you like a nice little sub objective basically throughout your play. I was looking at it. It's like I think I got through like 20 achievements in my first playthrough. Which is a lot of them is just from just playing the game, basically, right? It's like use the turret, find the ring, use 2,000 rounds of ammo. Relatively simple stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Open 100 crates. Just basically means explore and actually play the game. The radio, I think, is like the biggest one in terms of like the more quote unquote challenging ones, because without like there's one where it's like you have to kill Miko, I think her name was, or Mio. She's like, that's like the one with the one like mutated boss fight. You know, where they're still human, but they have like crazy like tendrils coming off of them.
Yeah, okay.
Miho, I think her name was. Yeah, it's like kill her without taking any damage. Like that one's a bit rough.
Yeah.
But you know, it's doable because I remember like getting through that fight with like not getting hurt much at all. It's enough to like pull me back in and try to do another run with that without getting hit. You know, it's not required to play through the game. Did you get stuck at that one weird? It's like an image puzzle at like the security door.
Oh, totally looked up the answer to that. I was on the right track,
okay.
But I didn't know how like. So for the people, for everyone listening, there's like a haiku, not a haiku, but it's like an artsy fartsy kind of poem, and you have a sequence of images that you have to plug in order to open a door. It got to a point where like I was close to it, but I couldn't figure out where. I think it was like the sun or one of the other ones went. So I ended up just looking it up, and I was close, but I
you realize you were like 4 out of 6.
Yep.
You're like, I was right there. God damn it.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I don't know if you ever saw this clip before, but like, do you remember when Destiny started doing like all the little glyphs?
Oh yeah.
Destiny 2 started doing all the glyphs.
Yeah.
Where it was a clip of a guy trying to explain to like another a titan on how to recognize what the glyphs were, and the guy just started shooting the wall randomly.
Basically, I mean that's basically what.
I was kind of there. I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and start clicking on things and see what happens.
Exactly.
And it got me through. I was like, okay. I wish I'd paid attention so I knew what it was, but I was like, oh, I got it. I got there either way. But yeah, so like that's one where it's like relatively simple to get through. Again, I think the only one that really hung up a lot of people was the computer interface sections. Yeah, and I think that was really it. Luckily for, again, like I think it's a cool thing that they threw it in there. It's something that I don't get to experience a lot. You know what I mean, in games where it's like, oh, hey, just. It's, you know, it's a computer within a computer kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's cool. That's a fun little thing. But definitely a little daunting to people who were not used to dealing with inputting commands like that, basically. So, yeah. So did you find like every weapon in the game? I think there's only like, or all the ranged weapons anyway. I think there's only like 20 or so ranged weapons in this game.
I couldn't tell you. The other thing too is because I didn't use any medium weapons, so probably not. But I found ones that I really liked.
Yeah, what was your main weapon? Your main preferred weapon? For me was the nail gun.
I was looking at the nail gun and I was like, I should probably use this because it's probably really good, but I didn't end up using it. It was the hunting rifle for like boss fights. I would save it for boss fights, and then I would use like the light bullet machine gun for like typical encounters, and then I would end up using the hunting rifle and then the sniper rifle for the larger encounters, right? Like the boss encounters and whatnot. And then I would kind of cycle between depending on what I needed. So like once I started getting more heavy ammo weapons, I would walk around with like the revolver and take care of like the smaller enemies with the revolver, or like the melee weapon more so to conserve ammo. Then I would use the sniper rifle, and then depending on the encounter, it would be the sniper rifle if it was like a single target fight, and then if there were multiple bad guys, I would use the assault rifle instead.
Another thing I wanted to point out was the game does make it so that all the weapons do have a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And you can kind of craft it to obviously you can craft your own loadout as well. That's kind of the whole point.
Right.
But yeah, like none of the weapons feel particularly bad. Basically, like everything is very much so like viable within a run. It just depends on how lucky you get in terms of like what you're finding ammo wise, weapon wise, and your upgrades within that little kiosk, basically. Mm-hmm. And because again, it's like a new game plus situation, you're incentivized to try different things out from your previous run. Especially because you also get a randomized weapon at the beginning of every section if you died. Did you do the fight on that little yacht or the little barge?
Yes, like the wave fight. Yeah, that I did get that. Yeah.
So that one is where I died the most.
Really?
I think I had like 4 deaths in that area. Just because like obviously when you're resetting, you don't have as much weapons and as much gear.
That's true.
So it kind of like nerfs you a little bit right in the beginning, and you have to kind of play smart basically. But is there a particular section that you had trouble with? So for me was that little wave fight on the barge.
No, just the console prompt final boss.
Reading. That was my enemy.
Remembering how to navigate DOS was the final boss. Yeah, that was the most difficult fight in the game.
Okay, so since we're talking about the end part, actually, so what happened in your ending?
I actually have the screenshot of it here.
Oh, perfect.
So, because I took it right when it ended, so it was like the reboot was concluded with outcome negative. The volunteer Shigeru Nakayama proceeded to overload the system. It ends here. No further action is required. What are the orders regarding the remaining volunteers? The order is to terminate any personnel no longer needed. Over and out. So I guess I got the bad ending. They kill everybody. That's crazy.
So there's an animation at the end. Did your character walk out of the plant basically and then get shot down?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I did the ending that I got on my first run was I overloaded the generators to 150%.
Yeah, okay, I did that.
And that basically just blows up the island. Okay, so you got that one then.
I must have. Yeah, I must have because
okay. If you only do 2 of the generators out of the 3, that's why I wanted to save it until this part. So if you do 2 generators out of the 3, spoilers here for everybody else. I'm assuming you guys figured it out at this point. If you do 2 out of the 3, you do shut the systems down to tell the main computer to just shut everything down, basically, right? Once you're done with that, your character basically comes out of the warehouse you had the final boss fight in. You are greeted by 2 or 3 like armed guards, and basically no witnesses. So they gun you down right then and there.
Yeah,
that's the end of your run. That's the quote unquote bad ending, or like the incomplete ending, and then the full ending is the one where you blow up the island. Yeah, your character also dies, obviously, but like it's like, it's kind of like this is the end of the story.
Okay, so I definitely did not get the first ending. I got the second ending. I found all 3 generators kind of on accident because I was looking for the way out, and then I found the 3rd generator. Okay,
and then you just went back to the computer to turn them all on, basically. That's basically where the biggest change is, because at the very minimum, you need 2 to get into that final boss fight. You got a full win during your first run. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because I was wondering. That's also why I said, like, go on a controller, get your done run.
Yeah, true.
don't get stuck at that one part like I did for like 45 minutes. Yeah, that like legitimately ate up like 40 minutes of my time trying to remember how to navigate this stupid DOS.
Fuck it, command prompt shit, unreal. That's
yeah,
funny.
it was rough, and also because again I was playing it like when I started playing it, it was a weekend for me, right? But it was a weekend after work. So my brain was already kind of fried, and I'd been playing for like 6 to 8 hours.
And the last thing you want to do is DOS.
Exactly. And I was like, it's just like trying to remember how do I do this again? That's basically what it was. I was like directory, then something, system? Nope. Okay, back up. Just back out to the beginning. System first. Images? No. Okay. It was a lot of in and out until I finally remembered there was a specific order of the inputs that I have to go through. And I was like, okay, now we got it. But yeah, okay, cool. Good to know you got the full complete game ending, because again, it's supposed to be like, this is the end of the island kind of thing. So okay, that's cool. Did you check out any of your character info when you were playing as well too? Because again, like that, if you died, it gives you like a short intro to your characters, or did you kind of just mash along until you started again?
No. So I saw it was like my guy, like the guy that I had for my whole run, Shigeru Nakayama. He was like 51 years old. He's like the most badass, like Liam Neeson in the Taken movies, basically. Like this old guy just blowing up everything and killing everything in front of him. I was like, damn, okay, bro, shit.
The character I won the run with finally was it was a 42-year-old lady.
Nice.
And I think like her, like, because they also give you like randomized information on the characters, right? Or who you're playing. And if I remember correctly, it was like she was like 4'2".
Oh my god.
She was like 42 years old. It was like, oh, this lady's just a walking death demon, basically.
That's so sick.
It's like, what situation did she get into to have to do this? It was just, I just found it very, very funny in that moment when I was playing the game.
That's so sick. That is so sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
And again, it's just a nice little bit of lore / world building, right? Because again, they started off in trying to investigate the island with a highly trained death squad, basically, right? Basically a full on SEAL Team 6 going over here. And then now there's like, again, it's like Squid Games, or they're just grabbing any schmo who's desperate.
Meaning you going out there.
Yeah. just trying to shut down this crazy, dangerous experimental island. I think it's a very good first attempt for this game. Let me pull my notes again, because I want to acknowledge the developer again. Let me see, because I definitely had it in there before. Again, solo dev, right? Yep. I remember I mentioned in the first half. CC Arts, Claudio Catalano. Obviously, some rough spots we mentioned before.
I hope the second game has more code. I hope he doubles down on the command prompts.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Just because I think it'd just be funny as hell. It's like everybody hates the command prompts, and he's like, "Buddy, I got something for you. More of it. Get ready to DOS, motherfucker."
What if more? Yeah, I think it'll be really funny. But have you looked at the trailer for the second one?
No, I have to. I should.
Hey, go ahead, go and pull it up right now. So listeners, actually, there's a demo currently available for Empty Shell 2.
Okay.
And the second game is in color.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's in color. It still has that kind of like, gritty CRT filter on there. You can I'm assuming you could probably turn off. But it's again, for a relatively simple game, there's a lot of stuff in here that really added like nice little touches to it, right? Like obviously you had like the screen shake anytime you were shooting any of your weapons, right? Anytime you get hit. The way the shadows and lighting played in this game was really good right off the bat. You know what I mean? I feel like they designed it really well. So the second game, from what I saw in the internal comments or the developers' comments, I believe, was that the second section has almost like an extraction kind of aspect to the game. So from what it looks like, there's going to be like more objectives and stuff like that, and then possibly like retrieval missions. So again, I'm really interested in seeing how the second one comes out. Also, like a nice little touch here is checked out the minimum and recommended requirements for this game. Have you seen it?
No.
Minimum Intel Core 2 Duo. I could give you back your old PC and you could play this game still.
Hell yeah.
Which, I appreciate indie devs actually thinking of people who are running on potatoes.
Yeah.
I always respect that
part. You can play
part.
this on somebody's microwave.
Dude, exactly. But yeah, so Empty Shell 2, they don't have an release date for it yet. There is still to be announced, but there is a demo out currently for it, which I've not gotten into yet. I just wanted to wait until we record it again, and after you finish your game, so for you to go ahead and give it another shot, kind of thing,
Yeah. So I have a spoiler for the YouTube. I have like a demo megamix kind of video in the chamber. And so I kind of have two more demos here that I want to do a video like that on. I've just been so busy. I might just drop both. I might just drop both things today. I don't know. Today, we're recording on a Friday, by the way. Peek behind the curtain again. I might just drop the new episode and the video today. Fuck it.
Nice.
Right?
Nice. Yeah, because I have no interaction with that end, so that was all.
Yep,
that was a you project. So that's very cool. But yeah, sick. That'd be good to have on the YouTube. But yeah, so good to hear you enjoyed yourself. You had a good time here. Do you see yourself going back to 100% this game? Because I've kind of already started going back for more stuff.
No, but I'll probably play the second one.
Okay.
I might. You know what? I'm never say never, but I'm like, when I beat it when I cleared it the first time, I was like, that was good. That was fun. Like I don't know if I needed. There was nothing. It wasn't like Bellatra where there was like more that I wanted to do. There were like other things that I wanted to do in the game. I was like, I'm good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I like I said, like I got the full ending, right? Like the full end fight there. And
no, absolutely fair.
Sorry, I just saw this. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
I just saw this because I tabbed out to Facebook, and I just saw this, and I can't stop fucking laughing at it. For everybody listening, visual meme. It's a tweet of somebody's broken television screen, and the thing says, "Stupid fucking milkshake won't be nice to the meatball." Obviously referencing Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah.
It's just I can't stop fucking laughing.
So stupid.
Jesus Christ. I'm done. Yeah, Papa just sent me a message. I can't stop thinking about the Donkey Kong rap, but replacing it with TK Tony Khan, the guy that owns AEW.
Okay, before we go completely off the rails here, let's just try to get back on track. But yeah, so like again, in regards to this being like a roguelite game, right, or game with roguelite elements, right? I like the fact that this it feels like a short campaign, right?
Yes, I did appreciate that.
Yeah, so like versus like other roguelikes where a run is about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on average, right? So playing Hades or Balatro, if you're Slay the Spire, so on and so forth, right? But this one feels like, because it is a relatively short campaign, it feels like you actually accomplished something when you cleared it.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. And that was kind of why I had like the finality of it, where I was like, I'm good. Like if I never play this again, like I'm good. Like I don't need to play it again.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I enjoyed it, like it was a really enjoyable game, and I'm happy I got the chance to play it, because I'm not the biggest roguelike guy, but like still, it was definitely a fun game. It did kind of have that sense of finality where I'm good. Like
yeah.
if that was the only playthrough I do, like I'm good. It is something that where it is obviously something that you can go back and play over and over again. But if I don't, like I said, like if I don't, I'm good.
I think it's a nice middle ground for like the gamer like you versus me, right? Mm-hmm. Where for me it's like I like a run, okay, I'll try it again. But obviously because it is a longer run, you have to section it out,
right?
Or sit down for a full session. And then again, you feel like you've actually accomplished something once you've cleared everything. You get like that actual ending, which is nice to have. So,
but I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the ability of that longer run being able to be broken up, because there's nothing worse than having to be chained to your desk for the entirety of a run. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to fit a 4-hour run into my life? You know what I mean? So,
final point of comparison, and thing I wanted to mention, because again, I referenced Returnal before, right?
Right.
I believe later on after the game came out and people started kind of getting through the game and getting kind of understanding the game a little more and getting a little bit further and realizing that the runs are pretty long in that game, and that was a third-person action shooter, right? Mm-hmm. Where unfortunately for that one, sections were like save points or save sections or save areas were way further apart. You know what I mean? And like the only way you could stop playing basically was to just leave your console on,
like the good old days.
Yeah, right, man. at least here it does give you like basically each level is a checkpoint. It saves it automatically right then and there. You can turn the game off and come back to it a day or two later. Luckily the game is relatively simple mechanically, right? It's not like a Ghost Runner where you go away for a week and then you're like, oh shit, what do my fingers do again? What are all my keybinds here? Top-down shooter, relatively simple for the most part. There's a melee button somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like that's really it. I think there's a really good, again, for especially for a first attempt, a lot of really cool concepts that are explored in this, and a lot of quality of life things that people ask for in other games similar to this. You know what I mean? Are already implemented, which is great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the second one. Good to see you enjoyed this one. You had a good time with this one. Again, I highly recommend this to anybody, honestly. Again, if you're a fan of roguelites, again, it's not truly a roguelite. It's more of like a weird comparison. It's kind of like Undertale. You know what I mean? Where it's like you play it once, you get a whole run, you get a whole story playthrough. Right? It's a playthrough more than a run, technically.
Right. Exactly.
And then you play it again to see more shit.
Yep.
Get another perspective of what the game is like. Basically, once you've explored it once, you get to see the other side of it. Or like what's the other one that everyone was played for a while? Nier Automata. You know what I mean? Like that one, or Stellar Blade, where again you play the game 2-3 times, you get a full story, 100% clear. Cool. If you play it once and you're like, I'm good, and I can like look up the rest of it, perfectly fine as well. I thought this one was really cool. Again, it was like I bought it on sale for like $5.
Mm-hmm.
Regular price, this game is $12. I think it's still pretty much worth it. For $12, I would have been like, oh yeah, I got 6 to 8 hours out of this game. I'm cool with that. I recommend this game for anyone who's into like twin stick top down shooters, and if you like like a zombie-ish kind of horror game, not too scary. It's more of like a.
It's definitely got like the ambience of a horror game. Think what did really good like ambience horror, but not like your traditional horror, was like Metro, like the Metro games. Where it's super creepy, but there's never like a jump scare or anything like that. It's just you always kind of feel uneasy. because you don't know.
Well,
what's coming
maybe
around
the first time
corner.
you see the hand, that's like a bit of a jump scare.
little
But
bit.
once you're in, you're like,
Glover,
okay, now
what
I'm
are you
just
doing here?
exactly. But it's more of like you're on edge the entire time. That's more of like what the horror is of this game. So good to hear that you got through this one, and it didn't take you long to get through it.
Right.
It's just that we've been very busy the last couple months.
Right.
That's the biggest issue.
Right. Those 4 hours were spread across like a month and a half.
Yeah.
It was insane.
But again, luckily you can like step away from the game and come right back in.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Good. Okay. Yeah. I think that's really all I got on my end. Anything you also want to touch upon, or are you done?
Likewise. I'm good.
Nice and short and sweet game here. Go ahead, guys, check this one out. There's a demo for this game, and there's a demo for the second game coming out as well. Go ahead, check both of those out. Again, really interesting. Like, again, first attempt from this guy, solo dev. Support your indie devs. That's always a big deal for us here. Listeners, if you like this episode, leave us a like, leave us a review, share us with a friend, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
See ya.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 second, I gotta blow my nose. I can feel it. I can hear my nose whistling.
Yeah, I gotcha.